Hi there, welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here to do the weekly reading for the sign of Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you don't already know what your Moon and Rising sign is, Capricorn, you can look in the description box for a link to Always Astrology. In that link, you can plug in your information and it'll give you a snapshot of your birth chart, including those two placements, your moon and your rising. So if for any reason this doesn't appeal to you or resonate with you this week, you can always check out your moon and rising sign to see if that helps a little more. But in saying that, I do hope that this does appeal to you, Capricorn. So this is a weekly reading for between April 30th and May 6th. I wasn't feeling the greatest, so I took a little break, but I'm back. So thanks for your patience, and I really appreciate you being here, so thanks for watching. I'll be doing the same spread I did last week, just with a different deck. So a 3-card spread, central issue, 2 qualifiers, and the bottom of the deck for general energy. And then I'll be drawing qualifier cards from both the Medicine Card Tarot and the Oracle, Wisdom of the Oracle deck. So let's begin, Capricorn. I wish for Capricorn all success, joy, and wellness. I invoke spirits of love, light, and beauty. I call upon Archangels Michael, Metatron, Gabriel, and Uriel to guide this reading in peace, clarity, protection, and wisdom. I ask Mother Gaia to please bless this reading for Capricorn. So Capricorn in the center position, which is meant to describe you, the career, the inquirer, in the spread for the week is the card Friendship. So this is about not only being honest with yourself about what you need in a friendship, being honest with others about what you need in a friendship. It could also very well mean changes in a friendship. You could be leaving a friendship. You could have someone be leaving your friendship. And this might bring with it a sense of loneliness or a sense of wondering why. So if this is you leaving the friendship, you could be really hurt this week. I'm sorry to say. This is a general reading, by the way. So, apply this in a general manner. This isn't the end-all be-all, and it's also a weekly reading, so things will shift. And this could also be a very positive thing. Sometimes hard and difficult things that are best for us aren't always easy and pleasant either, right? So it could be that this was a long time in the coming, but it's still a little sad to say goodbye. And if that's someone leaving the friendship or questioning this relationship in a general sense, and it's not your decision, that could make you feel very left out or that you're in need of help, emotional support. However, if you are the one, Capricorn, leaving the friendship or making new friendships, you could find that even though you know it's right for you and you've calculated the cost, that it's still difficult to walk from. But it is for the best. Now, the interesting thing here with the soulmate card to the left is that you're either walking from this friendship or questioning this friendship because they aren't who you thought they were. On the other hand, you could have intellectually left a friendship or intellectually discovered this is time for this to end, or this can't continue the way it is. Perhaps it'll just take on a different life, right? That friendship will take on a different course. You can still remain friends, but the friendship looks different or it acts different. But it could be because you have found your soulmate and that the other friendship needs to take a back seat, um, or it's destructive to the soulmate experience. So we'll look at these in detail in just a moment. At the bottom of the deck for general energy for the week, Capricorn, we have the card Self-Acceptance. This is really beautiful. All of us need to hear this, and all of us really need to practice this, I believe, more often than most of us probably do, outside, of a sense of vanity or simply, taking care of ourselves in order to look good, for example. It's not an awful way to go about things, but it's pretty small, right? Like, it's a very surface way of doing it. If you're taking care of yourself for yourself to feel good and to take care of your health, that is a heightened level of self-acceptance. And then it doesn't matter where you fit in or what other people think of you. It's a lot more freeing, and you feel more comfortable in your own skin. So this little cherub is holding up a little butterfly. So this could be a sense of self-transformation as well. That the sense of self-acceptance this week, if you're to participate in this, if you've been neglecting yourself or neglecting what your needs truly are, you could find that this amounts to a bit of a metamorphosis this week for you, Capricorn, where you've forgotten how to behave this way to yourself. You've been trying to fit into too many circles, or too many roles, right? Where this week it's a matter of you need to get to the bottom of who you are and project a sense of self-acceptance, and not so project from a place of self-acceptance and from wholeness, as opposed to projecting from a sense of loss or insecurity, or even feeling that you don't belong, right? That maybe imposter came to me somehow. So whatever you do with a sense of self-acceptance, other people will feel that, and they will respect that. But again, if it's strictly about vanity, it won't behoove you to stick strictly to a sense of self-acceptance, like, I like my body and I like what I say, and therefore I'm full of self-acceptance for those things. I think you have to accept maybe the not so great parts too, just like the rest of us. We have to accept all of us. And if this is about a relationship, right? If this is about friendships and soulmates on a grand level for you this week, Capricorn, this could mean also that the persons that you're dealing with, perhaps you have this down and you're 100%, you're a master of self-acceptance. You might find within your vicinity this week there are people who aren't acting from a place of self-acceptance, or they can't tolerate themselves, and that's a really uncomfortable place to be around. So perhaps you could be a leader for them this week in helping them come to terms with something. This does seem like to be an intimate relationship week for you, Capricorn. A lot of intimacy here, even with the card self-acceptance. This is all about things having to do with relationships, and not really so peculiar, frankly, because we're coming out of Taurus in retrograde, which is things about love and beauty, partnerships. So you could have undergone over the past, say, 5 or 6 weeks, a lot of questions around friendships and soulmates and accepting yourself for who you really are, or perhaps if you've been around somebody who finds it difficult to accept who they really are, or even who you really are, not them, but who you really are, you might find that you've grown tired of that, right? And it's impacting the friendship. I think it's really important for you to be around authenticity this week. I think you give so much authenticity. Like I said, you come from a place of Capricorn's really good at accepting the warts and the age spots and the wrinkles with the sense of vanity. It's probably one of the few signs, in my opinion, that can do that. They have, being an earth sign, you have an uncanny sense of understanding the human condition in a way that a lot of other signs don't or can't. So this is really a positive thing for you this week, Capricorn, particularly if you have been struggling these last few weeks with your own sense of self-acceptance. Perhaps it's something as simple as aging. You have to, wrap your head around aging. Not your head around it like you have to figure it out, but you have, come to terms with it, okay? So let's look at the cards a little bit more in detail here. We've got friendship in the central position. Friendships are going to be a concern for you very distinctly this week, Capricorn. So again, we've got friendships that have been ongoing. They could even be deep and loving friendships where you can be yourself and they can be themselves. But ultimately what we're looking at here is not what's already been formed, but the changes, the shifts in friendships. So in a general sense, what this might mean for you is that you are turning to different people than you have turned to before for the same issues. You might be looking for answers to the same problems or queries that you hadn't before. You might be letting yourself do something unusual in the world of friendship, perhaps even Capricorns can be very guarded as well, right, about their deep, deep feelings, especially if it means needing support. You could be expressing to someone this week that you need their support, or that you are taking the time for yourself to find support for something in a different area within a different group of friends or comrades that you were before, or that you're going to try to find answers in a different area that you were looking at friendships for. And this will ultimately change your friendships, right? Because it could ultimately mean something that you can or can't talk about with these people anymore. And it's not always bad. Excuse me. It's not always bad to say goodbye to old friendships that are stagnant or aren't working for you, or that you don't see eye to eye on major things anymore. It does mean enormous growth, right? That you've established something for yourself, perhaps because of self-acceptance. You've gotten to this place where you're so confident and comfortable in what you really think, believe, and understand in the world that you're going to be seeking different friendships because of this. Different people out of the ordinary peer group that you have or that you've relied on for answers and for comfort even. So to the right of friendship, we have the guardian angel card. We see a woman sitting alone. She's rather upset and she's got an angel coming to her. This could be a feeling of loss, feeling that you're alone right now in this change. Like I said at the beginning, it's even if the end of a friendship or the end of an era, so to speak, is occurring and it's for the best and everyone agrees, etc., and it looks great on paper, it still has an emotional impact. And because of the bright magenta color of this card, we're looking at a lot of emotion. There's a great deal of, there's feeling here. There's perhaps even sexual energy here. And if you do feel as though you are alone or breaking from something that you felt so much strength in, or that you felt supported by, please turn to your guardian angel or ask an archangel for help at this time, or turn to a new friend or a peer who can help you during this difficult time, Capricorn. And alternately, if someone else is leaving the relationship, or if this isn't your decision, it regardless, even if you're okay with it on paper and on the surface and it's all congenial, it's still supposed to have an impact, right? We're human. So let yourself feel this. But please don't hold it in or suffer in silence. That's not kind. So to the left of the friendship card, we have the soulmate card. This is actually beautiful. I don't get this card very much for any reading. So I'm just going to look up its keywords here. Soulmate. Your prayer for a soulmate relationship is answered. So you have a great deal of love to give, and you have something in mind when you think of the great love. If you're already in a relationship, again, with the friendship and the guardian angel, if you're in something that you need to get out of, or that something's coming to an end, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. It means that both parties will probably be served by it because something greater awaits both you and the other person. But it will be sad nonetheless, or it could hold some sadness nonetheless. On the other hand, the other end of that pendulum is you have a soulmate, which is fantastic. That's really exciting. Perhaps it is one of your friends. Perhaps a new friendship is developing within a relationship, a newfound friendship within an already existing soulmate relationship, and you're reaching new levels together. It doesn't necessarily mean a breakup or that someone's leaving. It just means new levels of awareness, new levels of honesty. But the soulmate is really interesting because it is, in this deck, particularly about love. Whereas the friendship and the guardian angel and the self-acceptance really is about how you feel in these positions, right? How you feel, what you give, what you want. And then the soulmate specifically has to do with someone else. So this is really a couple-minded week. If you're single or just dating or divorced, or you're not into the dating world, the soulmate could very well be the friendship. The friendship could very well be the soulmate, right? But if you have been praying for a soulmate relationship, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to become romantic right away. In fact, it could be wise, if this is the case for you, to treat it like a friendship at first, right? To treat any soulmate relationship like a friendship. Because technically that's what a soulmate is, right? A soulmate is really your best friend, someone who gets you, someone who might have been separated from you in a previous life, someone who might have been separated from you in this life. Or if it's the same person you've been involved with all this time and you're seeing different levels of each other and entering a new level of soulmate relationship, this could bring about a new awareness and a new understanding and even a new respect, a newfound respect for this other person. But ultimately very exciting. With one door closing, another opens. If it's not with the same person, it will be with a new individual on a romantic or soulmate level. But the central theme being friendship means that this person is either already a friend or you will treat them like a friend, even if you are romantically inclined. This could be your big question this week, Capricorn. Self-acceptance. This could be your challenge this week. This could be something simply to contemplate on your own. Don't let if you find yourself getting lonely or if your questions are circular though, do talk to someone you trust, third party, someone who isn't very close to you as a friend or already a soulmate. Third parties would really help this week for clarification and guidance if you want to take that route. But like I said, self-acceptance is knowing yourself in and out, what you can and cannot do, and being perfectly okay with that, not just appearance and vanity, okay? So we're going to look for some additional messages here for you, Capricorn. I'm just going to look for a jumper card from both of these decks to get some extra clarification for this spread. I've never seen such a romantic reading, like a layout of cards. It's really remarkable. You might even find if this is about a romance, new friendship, whatever, that you're accepting their limitations as well. Okay, so if this isn't about you and this is something that you did like when you were 12 and you're like, no, I got it. Like I self-accept, I get it. That's old news. This could have to do with the other person. The other person's lack of self-acceptance, or you having to perhaps teach them, or just being fully aware without any words being spoken or without them conveying to you in some way. I mean, you could just be sort of psychically aware that there is an issue of self-acceptance here that you could help them with, or that they have to themselves overcome. Right. Wow. Okay. So you had the wolf jump out of the deck. The wolf's keyword is teacher. Because you're Capricorn and you're the daddy sign, technically, daddy, mommy sign, right? The patriarch, the matriarch, the boss. You could be in a position to help someone this week, particularly Capricorn, do the work of self-acceptance. Like I said, just before this jumped out, I was like, I just don't see this being an issue for you. I feel like you've gotten to the root of your issues of acceptance a long time ago, for several reasons. This would have been important to you to get on top of, as opposed to like emotional maturity, or as opposed to, you know, being critical or skeptical. Like, I think this was a big prominent area in your life and you've just accomplished it. I think the motivation this week could be to help someone else accomplish it. And like I said, because you might be aware psychically of someone else's lack of self-acceptance, that you're able to give that back in a manner that doesn't even need to be asked for. And this could play into the soulmate position here too. It's like, no, I mean, you get them so much. You understand what they're experiencing so much now at this stage of their life because you've been there. And you want to help and you can help. It's also the wolf crying at the moon could involve a Cancerian, could involve another woman in general, not necessarily a Cancerian woman, or things having to do with the moon. So things having to do with the emotions. You're teaching someone else how to deal with emotions, they're teaching you. Or, like I said, if you're not involved in relationships at this time, it could be something that you're just able and willing to teach yourself this week, Capricorn. Or looking to new friendships that you're making as teachers. So as a general reading, it's hard to pinpoint exactly how this is going to act in your week. So please take these messages and apply them to whatever is prominent for you this week in your life, Capricorn. So I'm just going to draw one more card here for a general, for an additional message to the spread. Lots of excitement. I mean, this is exciting, right? It's really, there might even be, you could even say thrilling. Like there could be a sense of thrill this week, excitement, you know. I don't necessarily feel a whole lot of flirtiness, just because self-acceptance is such a prominent card where there's someone or someone's or you. There's an element of insecurity here, but it's not about the relationship, it's about the self. It's an individual thing. So the individual needs to overcome that. The relationship is solid regardless. All right, now here's where we get to the point where I see you're doing a lot of thinking. So this was a really emotional spread, a lot of feelings here. And this is saying one is precluding the other or one is overtaking the other, and give equal time to both this week, Capricorn. You're doing a lot of thinking here, a lot of pondering. This isn't the planning stage, right? This is very much thinking. So you, my dear, are in flux. You are in emotional flux this week. Not necessarily a bad thing. You could be getting closer to the truth for yourself. You could be getting closer to who you really are and who you're meant to be with. The thinker. Wow. A lot of pondering this week, Capricorn. You have a lot to consider. This could be, if this is a big move for you, or you're considering a big move emotionally or relationally, take the week to think about it. Keep thinking about it, and ask for help from a third party if you need that. If someone you know, whether they consciously or subconsciously need this, require lessons in self-acceptance, I think you're a good teacher. If you're the one who needs to do it, you need to teach yourself. Rely on yourself for self-acceptance this week. Don't turn to others for like validation. Really, self-reliance. And really this week is the issue of getting to the heart of the matter. Wow, 28 minutes. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I really hope you enjoyed the reading, Capricorn. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you next week for your next week's reading, and take care of yourself. Until then, bye for now.